All right, welcome everybody. This is our briefing for the Mason County Commission on January 10th. We're going to go ahead and open up and move to support services. Mark Neary.
Good morning, commissioners. First on our list is Diane Zorin with some applicants for Mason County Transit Authority.
Good morning, commissioners.
Morning.
So as you know, the Mason Transit Authority, part of the makeup of that board has 5 members who are elected officials, and 4 of them are open now here in January. So in December, we sent out a letter to all Mason County elected officials, and 4 people have applied to serve: John Sheridan, Ken Van Buskirk, Sandy Tarswell, and Wes Martin. Sandy and Wes are incumbents on the MTA. So I wanted to ask the board, do you want to interview them? We closed the applications on Friday. So I didn't know if you wanted to extended that or if you want to interview. What is your next step?
I thought there was another one from, I'm trying to think of her name. She's on the school board of North Mason. I know I saw that one, but it doesn't seem to be on here.
I checked with staff. I thought this was all we had, but I can check again.
Can we continue to go out for one more week?
Yeah, we can leave it open.
All these seem to be from the North Mason area. We're supposed to get applicants from all over.
Well, that's what we did. We solicited from the entire county, all the elected officials. Yes, Great View, Shelton School District, North Mason. Well, no, John didn't apply. Cindy Bremeyer, who is on the board, and she's in her term. She's from Merriam Knight School District. Yeah, John Sheridan is from Port of Allen.
And I thought it was important to try and get somebody from the port. I think that was a great thing. I just wonder if we have enough for everybody and if we're better off going out for another week or two. What do you think, commissioners?
So Diane, just I guess the question I would have is how many vacancies are there?
There's 4.
Okay, so we only would have of the, are they at large or are they by commission district? It's just it would.
They're at large, but the goal is to have representation from the entire county. So we sent out the letter to, it was at least 40 different elected officials from all the different boards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the goal was to have equal voting representation between the 3 commissions when we created this.
So if we don't appoint these 4 to fill those 4 positions, would there be a quorum for our upcoming meeting of the Transit Authority?
I would think so, because we have 3 commissioners, 1 city council member, and then Cindy Bremeyer is still in her term.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. As long as we're able to do that, then I'm okay with extending it another week and seeing what we can net.
And maybe we can call somebody in our areas. Mark, you got your hand up?
Yes, Commissioner, I just found the most recent one that we received, Diane, was just recently. I think maybe it was even on Friday from a Sandy Tarswell.
She's on my list.
On our list, but there's another one, Leona Krautzer. I know applied. I saw the application. I don't.
Okay, let me check with staff because I didn't see that one. And is she from North Mason School District though?
Yeah, that's the problem. She also is from North Mason, and I know we want to try to have representation from all around the area. So if we can you, during this week, if Commissioner Trask is still okay with it also, Commissioner Schutte seemed to be okay. It's a bit of Commissioner Trask, you okay with going out for another week?
I think I would say one week tops, because I mean, we've got people that have applied, and I know last time we had a little bit of difficulty reaching out, or not reaching out, but getting people interested in serving on the MTA board. So I would give it a week, and then we need to move forward.
Okay, and Diane, can you look and see on the representation on what areas need the representation to make it equal amongst the 3 commissioners? It
would be your district and Commissioner Trask, because we have Miriam Knight covered was Cindy Bremeyer. So that would be Commissioner Schuette's district, correct?
Correct. Right. I'll reach out to the school districts like I did last time to see if we can get somebody interested.
Well, and then just to be, I guess, fair, Sandy Tarswell lives in my commissioner district, and the Shelton School District covers both.
Yes.
Covers multiple commissioner districts. So I'm not too concerned in that regard, I guess.
So we need two from, you're shaking your head, Commissioner.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned either. I do think that anybody that's on the board automatically, if you're an elected official, you have the best, you want the best for Mason County. So I'd say a week.
Okay. All right. What do we got next?
Next, we have Mackenzie. She's going to give us an update on our public records policy, and she's provided you a copy with the track changes list in your packet. So highlighting all of the changes that were made to the new policy. Mackenzie?
The Mason County Public Records Policy was last updated in March of 2018. Can you guys hear me?
We can now. For a minute we couldn't.
Okay. The policy was last updated in March of 2018. The updates to this policy include additional definitions, the inclusion of utilizing GovQA for public records software and JLARC tracking purposes, updated links, additional training information and requirements, a section for third-party notification, the addition of body-worn video footage redaction fees, the removal of irrelevant information, updated language due to recent case laws and revised wording. I sent the policy over to Tim to review, and it got the okay, and I also sent it to Nicole and Risk.
And you're asking to have this put on? Commissioner Trask.
Yeah, I reviewed it and it looks good.
Commissioner Schuette?
I concur.
Same here. Okay.
All right, next we have Tammy. And I just need to make sure that she's here.
Yeah,
Good.
good morning,
Wishes.
everybody. It's a little crazy. Yeah, what we have here at DEM is an additional contract to our regular EMPG funding that we get that helps support DEM emergency management programs. This is through extra amount that's through the ARPA, which is the American Rescue Plan Act. The total amount of the grant will be $14,205. And the plan is to continue along with our regular EMPG funding to support the person that is here doing our continuity of operations planning and our continuity of government. It has already been approved to form by the prosecutor's office. And I am requesting that we can go ahead and put this on the agenda.
Commissioners?
Sounds good to me.
Good with me.
Okay, we'll make it happen.
Thank you.
Next, we got Jennifer.
Thank you. Good morning, commissioners. I am very sad to announce that Kelly Berg will be retiring. Sad for the county, but happy for her. She put in her notice and her last day will be March 18th. And so I would like to ask for permission to advertise and hire for to replace her. And I would like to do it as soon as possible. So I have the advertisement, all paperwork all ready to go for HR, and I'm hoping to get it out tomorrow if possible. I would like to ask for overlap if we could.
I think that'd be wise. Commissioner Schuette, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations to Kelly.
Yeah. She will be missed though.
She is going to be very missed.
Yeah.
She does so much and is so quiet about what she does behind the scenes, but she really does a lot to keep us up and running. So yes, she will be dearly missed. Okay, well, thank you very much. The other thing that I have is the FEMA. We have 3 different forms for our 3 open FEMA disasters. We have the applicant agent designation form, the applicant agent designation letter, and then signature authorization. And FEMA requires each disaster to have all 3 of these forms signed. So I would like permission to put this on the next action agenda, permission for the chair to sign the FEMA applicant agent designation letter, and then each of the commissioners to sign the FEMA signature authorization form. And the FEMA applicant agent currently, it was Ross, so I would like to put Mark as the FEMA applicant agent, and then Tammy Wright and myself as the applicant alternates. And I know that we're going to have another, after this weekend, we're going to have another FEMA disaster to do as well. So I'll see if we can add that one on to next week's agenda, if we can get that going, so that we don't have to come back and do this again for that disaster as well.
Any issues with that, commissioners?
No issue with me.
No, I'm good. And I'm also good with the previous.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't wait for everybody.
Sorry, Commissioner. I should have caught that.
And that's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Commissioners, the next topic we have is we actually have a meeting scheduled, a special hearing scheduled for tonight at 6 p.m. to talk about the Belfair sewer extension. And we received quite a bit of public comment and questions regarding the sewer system. And to be honest, I'm trying to get up to speed on some of the history associated with the sewer. And I don't feel prepared to present tonight at 6. And so I'm asking the board if you would allow me to postpone this to January 31st so that I can get my head wrapped around all the changes in the real history of the sewer and then focusing on the specific reasons as to why we're proposing to expand it to the north. I would feel much more prepared if I had some additional time. And I won't give you the excuses as to why I'm not prepared, but I would request that you allow me to extend it to January 31st.
Commissioner Trask.
No, I'm good with that. And this also gives us the opportunity to make sure that everything is posted so that the public can take a good look at it. I feel like it's very important that we're very transparent in this process. So I support that.
Commissioner Schutte.
I do as well.
As do I.
Thank you very much. I think that I think we've got a good path to find and feel much better about being able and prepared to answer any questions that come from the commissioners, and also to, like Commissioner Trask mentioned, to be able to provide our presentation to the commissioners and to the public prior to the meeting so that they can actually review it and become familiar with the materials. So the last item that I have in support services is I've worked with the city of Shelton and the port of Shelton, their administrators to kind of get together and talk about what's going on within our communities in our areas. And so we've agreed to put together a joint meeting with the commission and their councils on January 28th. I included in this briefing the proposed agenda for that meeting. We do still have some time to talk about any items that you would want to put on that list. So you just need to let me know. And that will be held out at the Ridge Motorsports Park.
Mr. Schutte, what did you think of the agenda? And is there anything you think we should be adding?
No, I don't have anything to add. I think Mark did a nice job in putting together the agenda with the city important. So look forward to meeting with both the commission and the council.
Commissioner Trask.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's great. It shows that we all want to work together, and I think that that's something that we really need to work on. So thank you, Mark, for doing this.
Thank you, Mark. It looks like we're good to go with what you've put together.
All right, great. So we look forward to that meeting on the 28th. And I think we're moving on to Kel Rowan from Community Services.
Kel, are you ready to go a little early? There you are.
Indeed. Good morning. All right, so this is a follow-up about the Belfair the planned action EIS. And I've got a proposed schedule. So at the last briefing, Commissioner Netherland, you brought up the desire to send out another postcard or flyer. I did talk with our consultants. I do have a very rough estimate for a budget amendment in which they would get something to me this week so I could have that for action agenda. So if we choose to, so I have two things regarding the Belfair planned action EIS. One is to amend the budget based on sending out another flyer. The consultants and I decided that a 2-page flyer rather than a postcard, so trifold and mailed in an envelope, would be more efficient than just a postcard. We think we could get more information on there and really outlining, what the Belfair zoning is today, what we're proposing, what is different, what the potential impact, full growth impacts are as far as density allowances, et cetera. So we are looking to do a 2-page flyer on that. So that will come with a budget amendment for, of course, drafting that up, and then just the additional time. And also there would be available for another optional briefing on February 7th. And that's included in the budget amendment. The second thing, so that's action agenda for the budget amendment. Second thing is an action agenda to set the public hearing for February 15th. So on January 18th, having 2 separate action agenda items for approval of the budget amendment and to set the public hearing. We would send the mailer out on January 31st. The environmental impact statement would be finalized based on the Alt-3 hybrid and looking at the planned action ordinance, utilizing the alternative 3 hybrid. That final EIS would be issued by February 3rd, and that would be posted in the journal on that date. So the mailer would be sent out about the same time that the EIS is finalized. February 7th, we can have that final optional briefing with the Burke consultant team to just ask or to answer any additional questions or follow up, and then have the public hearing on the 15th. And the public hearing would be to the commissioners adopting the plan action ordinance and the development regulation amendments and the zoning amendments to the sub area plan. That's, all of those things that are backed up by the EIS. And the budget amendment, rough estimate is about $10,000. And with that, I'll just leave it open if you have any questions for me about that.
Questions?
Yeah, Kel, appreciate you scrambling to put this together with Burke. I appreciate it, and I certainly support that timeline and the approach. Where would the additional $10,000 come from?
Um, well, so originally this came out of the general fund, and was, my understanding is that the general fund put the original EIS budget into community development. So, you know, my proposal would be that it would come from the general fund and to supplement the community development budget.
Okay, and then can you also, if you don't have it handy right now, just provide it to me in an email. What Burke had budgeted in the initial, or up to this point, what they had budgeted for public outreach throughout the EIS process, as well as how many mailers and public comment, days of public comment period and hearings we had on the EIS?
Yeah, I can do that. I know we sent out, we did one direct mailing to all with a postcard to everyone. And we also did a mass printing of postcards, which we handed out. But of course, that was not as efficient as, you know, getting to every household. But each household and property owner within the Belfair UGA has received one postcard. And then I can outline all the different meetings we've had and hearings with the Planning Commission. And what was the other thing? What was the other?
Just what they had budgeted.
Number of comment dates?
Yeah.
Oh, and the original
comment days
budget.
Yep. Yeah, for outreach.
Yes.
Great, thank you. I appreciate like I said, I support the proposed schedule, but wanted to get some additional detail.
Okay.
Commissioner Trask?
Yeah, I'd like to see that information as well, but yeah, I do support it and like the extra reach out. So good job. Thank you.
Okay.
And I support it as well. This is the largest change in my 10 years being here, this is by far the largest change that we've seen proposed or brought forward to any area in Mason County. So measure twice, cut once. It's good to get all that information out there if possible, so that they'll know, because there will be a lot of people that they just don't know or understand what's actually happening. What else you got?
Also just mentioning that there's a press release that I understand there's a special meeting at 10 a.m. this morning, and we'll be reading a press release about the recent storm damage, both at which impacted the Lake Cushman community, as well as areas around Tahuya and western Mason County with flooding. So we're going to read a press release regarding the availability of our inspectors for checking damages. And I'll do that at 10. I will be here. I had a meeting that was canceled this morning, so I'll be available to read that press release.
Thank you.
Yep. So are we good for the action agenda for both the budget amendment and the setting the public hearing?
I understood a yes. Any
Okay.
different? I see Sharon's head up and down. Kevin, that was a yes from you. Yes.
Yes.
We're good.
Excellent. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner, next thing up, we have Lydia.
Hi,
Good morning,
Lydia.
Commissioners. This morning, we are bringing forward to brief you again. Back in July, we briefed about wanting to do a pilot project program for behavioral health transportation to different needs, such as inpatient detox, medical appointments, bus stations, things like that. We put out an RFP out into the community, had 3 agencies respond, reviewed those over the summer, and came up with what seemed to be the best was possibly to create a dual agencies working on this, one that would do inpatient transportation and the other which would not inpatient, one that would do in-town transportation, Mason County transportation, and another one that would reach out when they had to be transported out of county. And so the 2 agencies that applied that we looked at and approved were Patty Wagon and to do in county, and Gethsemane Ministries to do out of county. So at this point, we've put down kind of what the cost would be. We had talked about this being a pilot project. but that we would review it after 1 year and see how it's going before it moves on to a second year, making sure that everything is working well and the costs are what was anticipated. So year one would be 80,000. It's an extra 10,000 because of purchasing a vehicle for the out of county transportation. And then the second year would be 10,000 less, 70,000. So the total ask would be 150,000 from the treatment sales tax, basically from our kind of overflow budgeted, non-budgeted treatment sales tax, the pot that's there, and then see how that moves. So Abe is also online in case you have any questions for him, more details about something to do with this. We would like to offer subcontracts to both of those agencies. They haven't accepted yet, but we have been in conversations with them to see how that works. And so that's what we'd like to do, is make up the subcontracts and bring them back to you to be reviewed again.
Commissioner Trask.
I think this is a great idea, and I think it helps those that truly need it. And as far as the vehicle, have you checked with Mason Transit to see if they have anything?
We did. We applied. We didn't get it.
Didn't get it. That's okay
Yeah.
too. There's a lot of needy people.
Somebody else got it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the needs are high. Yeah, it sounds and looks good to me, and with this being a pilot project, so we will reevaluate after 1 year, correct?
Correct. We'll be evaluating all along and adjusting and talking with you about how it's going. But yeah.
Right. Okay. No, I think it's a good idea. Thank you.
Commissioner Schutte.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's been a lot of thought put into this. It's certainly a gap which is needs to be addressed, and I think being able to go at our treatment programs by evaluating gaps and finding solutions is really good. On the vehicle component, can you just talk about that a little bit more? What are the subcontractors owning and buying the vehicle, or what's our role in that other than funding for some of that?
Abe, you want to jump in on that? Abe talked to our attorney about that to make sure we understood what we needed to request. So I'll let him address that.
Yeah, the one vehicle that would be purchased would be owned by the agency. And I spoke with Mr. Whitehead, and he indicated, that we would make sure that the language in the subcontracts around insurance and liability, everything would be, it would be with those subcontracted agencies. So he wasn't concerned at all about coverage and our responsibility and liability. He said we'd make sure to get with Nicole and he would make sure that was all detailed correctly.
So so everything would kind of rest with them, and Tim has reviewed both of the subcontracts already.
Yeah, well, we haven't put the subcontracts together. We didn't want to put the cart before the horse before getting permission here at the board. However, I did speak in detail with him, went over details about what would potentially be in those subcontracts, and he wasn't worried at all. He said, that's not a problem. Maybe we'll work that out, make sure that the county's covered, and felt pretty comfortable with how we were designing the program as it's at right now.
Okay, I don't want to jam this up, but I'd like to have the contracts come back in front of us after Tim's reviewed them, and just make sure that we're just approving you drafting and circulating a contract versus drafting, circulating, and signing.
Executing, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, looks like we have agreement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
What else you got, Dave?
Okay, if you don't mind, I'll do a couple of updates from the weekend, since that it's been a very busy weekend. So over the weekend, we of course were responding to the snow and the flood situation across the county. We put together a team of building inspectors who went out on Saturday and did a number of building inspections for buildings at risk or buildings that have had damage. So after that, we went back and rebriefed the area command. This week, we're going to be going out with a team that includes, or two teams actually, that include a building inspector and an environmental health specialist going out on teams to do these inspections. And that'll give us the ability to not only look at the building, but to look at wells and other flood damage, septic systems. So how do you respond to having your septic system flooded or your well flooded? So those folks are going out today. We've got some handouts that are going out, and there will be some pieces that will be put on the county website and out through social media as well as what to do with your well. If your well stem has been covered with water and you're afraid of contamination, we'll put that out. It's something we do up pretty regularly here in Mason County with flooding. So a lot of people are already well aware. They let us know this weekend, and yeah, we know what to do. But we are getting a lot of calls and a lot of questions. The second thing is we're testing, of course, is for Omicron or for COVID is getting to be a big deal. We've got probably 11 outbreaks right now that we're working with the COVID team, and we're doing test kits. We're putting out test kits in somewhat of a reserved way, primarily around government offices and schools and those pieces. In the near future, public health is going to be getting about 1 million test kits across the state. Mason County will be getting a portion of that. We don't know what our allocation is for that yet, but we're already working with a number of places like the EDC to look at what we were going to use for distribution sites and how we're going to do that distribution going forward. So in the next week, it's going to be really busy to look at not only the test kits, but the state's going to release a lot of masks to include children's size masks. So we'll get those out to distribution sites as well. Right now, for county employees, we have a drive-up test site here at our office. People come up, will be tested, and we would like to remind everyone, if you have someone in your office that is a close contact of someone who's either positive or symptomatic for COVID, please call our 588 line and coordinate with our COVID staff to get our people back into service, back in their positions as soon as possible.
So David, question. During the holidays, of course, and then during the weekends, I get so many calls of people looking for places to go. Are there any places that are open during the weekends?
I'll check on that, Commissioner. The last I heard was they had cut back hours on both of the two testing sites, and a lot of that's due to staffing. A bright spot on the horizon is we're starting to get staffing back. Probably by Thursday, we'll start having people coming back into service on some of those things. We had quite a few people out with our hospital system and actually through county offices as well. So we're hoping to get a quick return. It's one of the things about this particular variant is it hits really fast. So from exposure to symptoms is about 2.2 days, which doesn't give us a lot of time to react proactively, but also means that people are coming back to work sooner. So I'm hoping that we start seeing a downturn later this week. When you look at Omicron across the nation and across the world, it seems to have about a 4 to 5 week cycle from startup to peak and then back down again. So we're hoping that it passes pretty quickly.
Now, I know up in the north end for the longest time, they were taking walkouts, but I understand they're not doing that anymore either. Is that because of the lack of tests available?
It's tests and staffing.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
Not for me.
Not for me. I just want to thank everybody that's going out there and helping those that need our help. So appreciate your staff. Please pass that on.
We'll do. So yeah, if people have questions, they can call us, here at the 400 extension, and we can get them connected with people to answer questions about wells and septic systems if they've not turned in a request for response. So.
Okay, thank you. All right, anything else for Dave Windom and his department? Thank you very much, Dave.
All right, thanks.
Okay, next up is Loretta Swanson and our roads department, solid waste. Loretta, are you available?
Mike? Actually, Mike's going to cover it for us this
Okay.
morning.
Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, commissioners. What we have on the list first is request to set a public hearing, February 15th, 2022 for the PUD, number one, to amend their franchise. They would like to amend their franchise and add fiber optic communication, construction and operation and maintenance to it. So it's fairly straightforward.
It's a good thing too. Commissioner Trask.
No, I think it's a great idea. Something we need, so great.
Mr. Schutte?
Yeah, no, I agree. Just a question for Mike, though. Is there something in our code or in RCW that says we have to have a hearing for a franchise amendment like this? What's the reason for doing the full public?
I'm assuming I am, and we can double check the code on that.
Yeah, just out of curiosity. I mean, everybody knows PD1's had a franchise for, like 90 years. So.
Right.
Just out of curiosity, if there's an efficiency we can find, I'd be interested in it.
I will find that out and get back to you.
Thank you.
We don't really have a whole lot of other items on the list whatsoever. I did get a request this morning from Merriam Knight School. They are running their buses. They get fuel out of Matlock gas station. 2 of their buses are down because of water in the fuel system because of the flooding around the gas station. They're requesting that they could purchase fuel from us. I'm told that we have in the past had an intergovernmental agreement. We haven't located that as this morning, but if the board would like us to move forward with that.
I think it's a good idea, but I think we need to have that agreement, the intergovernmental agreement, when we're doing any of this stuff for liabilities.
Yep.
Commissioner Schutte?
Yeah, I agree. If we can locate the paperwork, that'd be ideal. If we need to do new paperwork, that's fine too, but definitely whatever we can do to help Merriam Knight.
So if we do look for that, if we do have that paperwork, or don't have that paperwork, is that something that's going to have to come before us again? Because I see this as something urgent. And
yeah, technically it'd have to go before the board again, but we could, if we had permission, we could start that sooner than later, actually getting fuel for them.
And is it something that's covered under the Emergency Act right now to be able to work with these interagencies with just a signature from Mark? That's a question. I think it does, but that's a question. Does anybody have an answer to that question?
Commissioners,
Yes.
if I may, I did find online there is an ILA, an interlocal agreement with Merriam Knight.
There you
It's
go.
a reimbursable work by Mason County Public Works to provide maintenance services and emergency assistance, actual costs, with the school district signed back in 2009.
Okay.
awesome. Thank you,
Great job,
Diane.
Diane.
I'll send it to you, Mike.
Thank you.
Yep.
Over the weekend, we've been working on mainly the North Shore Road. A lot of water problems, issues, aggradation coming down onto the road. We are identifying those locations and making a plan to see if there's something we can. We've got them open and functioning now, but actually replacing some structures and making some short-term improvements for the next go around, because we are expecting some flooding again here by Wednesday. Down at Haven Lake near Schaefer Park, we opened up that pathway, that trail through the property we purchased. The residents were all very, very ecstatic, very happy that they could have that access. The main road there into the Platte was about 1,000 feet long and about 3 to 4 feet of water over top of it. So it was it got pretty significant. We've had some other little problems here and there, Pickering Road, some little slide work here or there, but nothing major. But we're cleaning the mess up and getting ready for the next one. That's all I got.
Okay. Questions for staff?
Just
Yeah,
a
I
real,
think-
go for it, Commissioner.
Yeah, just real quick, Mike, I had heard that there was some damage and some cracking on some of our roads, but also on 302 in the usual spot through Victor. If you can get us an update on there. I know that's a regular trouble spot, and they had some issues there earlier this year as well. So if you can get with DOT and let us know what's happening there. And I know there are some spots on 101 too. But yeah, thanks.
Yeah, all I have was notice we got this morning that Washington State Patrol had closed the road for a mile there on 302 due to the sliding. So I will follow up with WashDOT and see what their proposal are.
Great.
Anything else, Commissioner Trask? You were going to speak earlier.
Yeah, no, I've noticed there are a lot of damaged roads, I guess, between the rain, the frost, they're freezing. It's hard on roads. It's hard on everything. So really wanted to pass on my appreciation to the crew and to you guys, just staying vigilant. And I've heard from many people that they truly appreciate what you're doing. And so please pass on my appreciation to the road crew and to everybody else that's been there pushing with lots of hours. So thank you.
Yes, lots of hours.
Yep. Thank you to all of them, our road crews, our road crew heroes, our fire department heroes that were out doing these sandbags to take care of all these types of issues, as well as our law enforcement and the PUDs. And it's a situation where all hands on deck and many hands made for lighter work. But wow, what a situation. So thank God they all got home safe too when they were done. All right, anything else? All right, Mark, what you got for us?
Since you're on the topic, I just wanted to this is my first emergency with Mason County. And so got to meet some new people and really see how this community comes together to support each other. So just wanted to publicly pass along some appreciation for all of our fire districts. Chief Ryan Sperling here in our sheriff's office really helped us get through the administration side, and our small but mighty emergency management team of Tammy and Will really stepped up to provide the support that they needed, getting some help from state EOC. The coordination was just great through the weekend. And of course, our public works crews have been working hard for 3 weeks now. And just to add more to their list, they've done a great job.
You've done a great job also, Mark. Very much appreciated. You definitely had to step up in the middle of something pretty impressive this time around and learn how to do these things. And you did a wonderful job.
Well, definitely got some insight into some things that's really good to have. So Diane and I are going to be working to see how we get this emergency manager position filled. So we will be bringing that to the board here soon.
Okay. All right. Anything further? Any commissioner discussion? Then I'm going to go ahead and if there's no objection, we'll adjourn this briefing and we will return at 10 a.m. For a meeting of the Mason County Commission. Hearing no objection, none, we are adjourned. Thank you.
See you at 10.
O'clock, are we ready to go? All right, I'm going to go ahead and call, we're calling this a special meeting of the Mason County Commission for Monday, January 10th, 2022. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's see, Commissioner Trask, would you do us the honor of leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I'm here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Next up is item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Do we have correspondence to come before the board?
We do. The Mason County Auditor's Office sent a notification
The
that
Mason County Fire District number 12 and Mason County Housing Authority have not provided their 2022 budget information. The Federal Emergency Management Agency sent in a letter regarding special flood hazard areas. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission sent in a letter regarding the 2022 Combined Tabletop and Functional Emergency Action Plan exercise, plan, and schedule for the Cushman and Wynoochee projects. John Sheridan and Ken Van Buskirk sent in applications for the Mason Transit Authority Board. And the Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board sent in the following: approved liquor license for the Dayton store and change of corporate officers for Stonehenge Gardens.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Is there any other correspondence or organizational business?
There is not.
Hearing none, we will move to item number 4.2, which is the selection of the chair and the vice chair. If you indulge me for one moment, I would like to nominate Commissioner Schutte for chair.
I will second that.
Would you be willing to serve, Commissioner Schutte?
I accept.
Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote on that first. And all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The aye carries, and I am going to turn over the chair responsibilities and duties to Commissioner Schutte right now for the vice chair selection, please.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Netherland. Moving on to selection of vice chair, I will also nominate Commissioner Trask to serve as vice chair for 2022.
I will second.
Commissioner Trask, do you accept?
I do.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to appoint Commissioner Trask as vice chair for 2022. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And the motion carries. Very good, thank you. Moving on to item number 5, our open forum for citizen input. Again, this is an opportunity for the public to address the commission on items that are not on today's agenda. If you would like to address the commission, you can do so by raising your hand. We'll start with that. 3-minute limit per commenter, 15 minutes total, but we'll go ahead and if you have a comment, please raise your hand. Seeing no hands raised, if there is anybody who would like to make a comment that is unable to raise their hand.
Yes, this is Sharon Hainsley. I don't know how to raise my hand.
Okay.
Is
Go ahead, Sharon.
is it all right?
If it's on an item that's not on today's agenda.
It's an item that is on the agenda.
Okay, so if there is comment on an item on the agenda, when we get to that point, you or a commissioner or another member of the public could ask to have that item removed for a separate discussion and vote, and that would be the most appropriate time to make comment on an item that's on the agenda.
So I'm sorry, can you explain? That's different. I was talking with Dave Windom and Tim Whitehead about this. Can you?
Yeah,
go
so
over?
so I'm going to make an assumption here that you want to comment on item 8.5, the county's response letter to the Squaxin Island tribe.
Correct.
Okay, so how our meetings work are if you have comment on an item that is on our action agenda, that item then is requested to be removed for a separate discussion and vote, and that has been our practice for well, as long as I've been here, and I'm making an assumption that it has been for quite a bit of time before that. So that's our past practice. It doesn't mean that a letter or that an item won't be adopted, but it's just you're able then to pull it out to make comment on it that way.
So does that happen today, the separate discussion?
It will. So once we get through the other agenda items and we get down to item number 8, which is the approval of our action agenda, I will call for, once we read through those items, I'll call for any questions that would help members of the public or commissioners decide whether or not that item should be removed for a separate discussion and vote. And then I'll ask if there are any items that a commissioner or member of the public would like to have removed for a separate discussion and vote. And at that point, sensing that there will be some comment on that, I think we'll end up just removing item 8.5 for its own standalone discussion and vote. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you so much.
Sure. Okay, back to any public comment for folks that aren't able to raise their hand. If you just want to unmute and alert me that you would like to make comment, now would be the time to do so. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item number 6, adoption of today's agenda, and entertain a motion. Commissioner, you're muted.
Fun. I'm used to having to be the chair. The first time I got to mute, I liked it. Mr. Chair, I move for adoption of today's agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt today's agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Excuse me, moving on to item number 7, approval of minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the December 2021 and January 3rd, 2022 briefing minutes and the January 5, 2022 special meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to approve December 20th, 2021 and January 3rd, 2022 briefing minutes and January 5th, 2022 special meeting minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And the motion carries. Moving on to item number 8, approval of today's action agenda. Commissioners will read through the items on today's action agenda, at which time a member of the public or a commissioner may ask questions or have an item removed for a separate discussion and vote. With that, Commissioner Trask, if you'd please take items 8.1 and 2, Commissioner Netherland, items 8.3 and 4, and I'll take 8.5 through 7.
Great. Item 8.1, approval of warrants and treasury electronic remittances, claims clearing fund warrant numbers 8085057 through 8085299 in the amount of $4,711,714.67. Direct deposit fund warrant number 83321 through 83714 in the amount of $838,425.74. Salary Clearing Fund, warrants numbers 7006354 through 7006380 in the amount of $539,836.42. Item 8.2, approval to continue the WADR 4539 Hazard Mitigation Assistance Program Grant application process for funding to update the Mason County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Mr. Chair, item number 8.3 reads approval to amend resolution 2021-073 to correct a Scrivener's error regarding the description of how the salary table will be applied to non-represented employees who may be at their top step. Item number 8.4, approval for Mark Neary, County Administrator, to sign the agreement with S.C. Johnson and the City of Shelton for the pilot program for curbside plastic film recycling.
Item 8.5, approval to sign the county's response letter to the Squaxin Island Tribes letter dated December 8, 2021 to address the specific concerns listed by the Squaxin Island Tribe. Item 8.6, approval of the law enforcement assisted diversion contract extension to continue services until June 30th, 2023. And item 8.7, approval to reschedule the Monday, January 10th, 2022 special meeting public hearing on the proposed extension of the Belfair Sewer to Monday, January 31st, 2022 at 6 p.m. Commissioners, having read through the items on today's action agenda, are there any items that you have questions on or would like to be removed for a separate discussion in both?
Mr. Chair, in order to help one of our guests, could we please remove item number 8.5?
8.5, absolutely. 8.5 will be removed for a separate discussion and vote. Commissioner Trask, any from you?
No.
Okay, any members of the public have questions or items that they would like to have removed for a separate discussion and vote in addition to item 8.5? Okay, hearing none, we will go ahead and I will entertain a motion to approve the remainder of today's action agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move for approval of the action agenda with the exception of item number 8.5, which is to be removed for a separate vote discussion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve items 8.1 through 8.7 with the exception of 8.5, which is removed for a separate discussion and vote. Any discussion?
Oh.
Okay, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. That takes us to item 8.5, our approval to sign the county's response letter to the Squaxin Island Tribes letter dated December 8th, 2021 to address the specific concerns listed by the Squaxin Island tribe. And at this time, I just have, if Dave Windom is available, I see he's on here. If Dave could just provide a brief overview of the letter, and then we'll move into questions and then public testimony.
Yes, good morning, Commissioner. So in the same format that the tribe used in sending their letter, it consists of two pieces. The first is a text letter back to Mr. Whitener in the same format that he sent to the county. And the second piece of this, we used the document that Erica Marbette sent with the her attachment A. We added a fourth column and went line by line with her with the fourth column to bring some responses to those specific items from the MOA.
Very good. Commissioners, any questions for Dave? Okay, hearing none. Are there any questions for the public before we move into testimony? Any questions from the public for Dave? Okay, hearing none. With that, we'll move into public testimony on item 8.5. Again, if you just, I know Sharon, we'll let you go now, and then we'll see if there's other folks that might have comment.
Sure. Thank you, and commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to be here. My apologies for not fully understanding the procedures this morning, so I appreciate that. So briefly, we want to begin by commending the county on having completed a number of the tasks in the MOU, and so we appreciate that. We, though, respectfully disagree with the county's take. There are a number of partially completed tasks or not completed tasks, and we respectfully take issue with the county's response on many of those. We're going to give them a very, very hard look. You know, it may be that we agree on some, but I can say that on a number of them, including some important ones to the tribe, I think there's a disagreement. I just want to convey on behalf of the tribe, and the Natural Resources Department and the council, that completing the tasks is very important to the tribe and the long-term viability and exercise of its treaty fishing rights. I guess I'll remind the council that the tribe agreed to dismiss its lawsuit against the county over the county's update to its comprehensive plan and development regulations a couple of years ago because it didn't do enough to protect stream flow and fisheries. And in return, we agreed that the county would live up to the tasks in the MOU, which is binding. And so the next step that's envisioned under the MOU is to go to mediation. We jointly choose a mediator, and maybe, hopefully, we can try to resolve through mediation many, if not all, of the issues, so that we don't need to go to seek enforcement in court. And so I think what you will next should expect to see from the tribe is a detailed response on what the disputed issues are, so that it makes mediation that much more effective. And we can talk about who to choose and how to choose, the mediator. I guess I just would leave that. I'm open to any questions. I also would ask, is the letter that you're approving today, has it been changed in any way from the draft that the county shared with us last week?
Dave?
No,
I don't believe it has.
No changes to that.
You have not? I'm sorry, it wasn't total. I couldn't hear. You said that there were no changes?
There were no changes. What is in the packet today is what was submitted last week.
Thank you.
Great, very good. Thank you, Sharon. Any other comments from the public on item 8.5? Okay, hearing none, we'll close public testimony and move into commissioner deliberation or motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve. Oh my goodness, it's a Monday. The approval to sign the county's response letter to the Squaxin Indian Tribes letter dated December 8th, 2021 to address the specific concerns listed by the Squaxin Indian tribe.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve item 8.5, to sign the county's response letter to the Squaxin Island Tribes letter dated December 8th, 2021 to address the specific concerns listed by the Squaxin Island tribe. Are there any comments, commissioners? Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And the motion carries. Moving on to item number 9, other business. This is an opportunity for department heads and elected officials to address the county commission. Any department heads or electeds? I see Kel Rowan has her hand raised.
Good morning.
Morning.
I was just going to read a press release that Community Development has prepared. If that's okay.
Yeah, I think you discussed this at briefing this morning.
Okay. This is regarding community services, building and safety review of storm damaged structures. On January 5th, 2022, Mason County Commissioners declared an emergency due to recent severe weather-related storm damage. The county commissioners recognize that county citizens may have experienced property damage due to severe weather conditions. County inspection staff are available to assess structural damage for property owners in Mason County. In coordination with the County Emergency Operations Center, the Department of Community Development assigned staff members to damage assessment teams as needed. As reports are received, inspection staff will be notified and dispatched for review of structure conditions and an evaluation of buildings to ensure continued safety or safe occupancy. Property owners can contact the Permit Assistance Center for more information at 360-427-9670 extension 352, or send an email to permits@masoncountywa.gov. And permits is plural in that sense.
Great, thank you, Kel. Appreciate that. Any other department heads or elected officials wanting to address the commission? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we'll move on to item number 10. We have no public hearings set for today. We'll move on to item number 11, our board reports and calendar. We'll begin with Commissioner Trask, go with Commissioner Netherland, and then I'll wrap up.
Great. Thank you, Chair. So let's see. Every Monday we have the WASAC, which is the Washington State Association of Counties virtual assembly meeting at noon. Tomorrow I have a couple of meetings with constituents. Public Works Board traditional committee meeting, an ARPA meeting on Wednesday, meeting with staff to go over some questions that I have on things. Courthouse security meeting on Thursday, and then Public Works Board Day on the Hill. So that's the legislature. So we will be talking with as many representatives and senators as we can virtually. I have a Turning Point board meeting, a Public Works board meeting on Friday, in LSC, which is the Legislative Steering Committee for WASAC on Friday. Monday is a holiday. Tuesday, we will be back here for our commission meeting.
Okay, so it's been a absolute crazy last couple of weeks. As we all know, we had special meetings. We pulled ourselves together in order to declare a state of emergency, had meetings with different entities around the area. For the most part, a lot of the communities were reaching out because of the different issues we were having because of the storm. I'm happy to say that for the most part, we got through all of it. I did not see a bunch of people hurt or injured in this one, but boy, it was a pretty tough one all the way around. In the next, in the last few weeks, we had meetings that were also canceled and moved over, some moved forward to the next weeks or so. I have the ORCA, Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority meeting coming up. I have a meeting with Mason Transit Authority, Mason County Housing Authority, a left board meeting that was moved over, Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority Finance Committee meeting. And then I think that brings us back to the next week in our next regular briefings and meetings.
Commissioners, so going forward here today, wrapping up our meeting, I have a meeting with our prosecuting attorney as well as Mason Crisis Services System of Care Coordination Group meeting. Have a meeting with the PUD-1 Commission as well as a MACECOM Governance and Legislative Board meeting. Also have a YMCA annual campaign meeting as well as IT Steering Committee. Meeting the Mason County EDC, as well as a meeting with the Army Corps of Engineers about our Skokomish Valley project, and then back for our commission meeting on the 18th. Okay, if there is nothing else on our calendars and reports, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I move we adjourn.
I will second.
So move in second that we adjourn. If there's no objection, we stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.